Today we have. Okay, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the March meetup of Null Ahmedabad. So let's roll out the intro first, and then we will list out our speakers. So, Null and Open Security Community. What is Null? Null is a open security community which started as an idea of starting the as an idea of shared knowledge in the field of information security to promote the information security research, and Null is a place for newcomers to have better understanding of cybersecurity and make infosec learning funful. Null is totally free of cost. Null is registered as non-profit security trust in Pune since 2010. Everything is absolutely free of cost at Null. Everything is everything is run with support of volunteer and organization who sponsors us. The activities Null is conducting. Null conducting four types of activity: Null Meets, Null Humla, Null Bachao, and Null Puya. Null Meets is a monthly meetup, one of which you are attending right now. Null Humla is an offensive security. Null Bachao is a defense security, and Null Puya is a short shield bridging. Some highlights of the Null community. Null Bhopal took two full-day workshop on Linux and cybersecurity. Null Ahmedabad had CTF challenges to solve the post meetup along with the quiz initiative like Let There Be Fresh Blood and Mission Secure Chandigarh was led by Null Chandigarh for students and people to spread infosec awareness. So what are the goals of the community? So goal of Null community is to increase the number of chapters, mentoring the students and newcomers, collaborate with other communities, and more meeting to discover the more meeting formats to make the infosec learning more interactive and funful, record and live streaming events, how to reach out to the mentors or buddies at Null. So you can join the Discord server of Null community, and you can also reach out to the chapter related leaders like Swar and Kuldeep India. So who is a Null community member? Everyone who is attendee, speaker, volunteer, chapter leaders, champions. Champions are speakers or who are taking the workshops are the Null community members. So how can come to contribute to the Null community? So you can simply go to the null.community website and click on engage. You can help in following ways: by becoming the volunteer, by becoming the speaker, by joining the Null mailing list. Becoming a volunteer, I will drop this link in the description. So if you want to register, you can register by yourself. You will be able to, once you fill out that link, you will be contacted by the chapter leaders and we can take it further from there. Swachalit portal. So null.community is the Swachalit portal. You can simply go to that website and register yourself. After registration, you will be able to list out the old events and the PDF materials, PPT materials of the previous events. So if you notice any bug there, you will be able to report it on given link, or you can simply email to the security@null.co.in. How to present at Null? You can simply request the presentation from Swachalit website, or after that you will be contacted by the chapter leaders, and we can roll you in. So from Swachalit portal, you will be also able to see the latest jobs. So you can simply go to the jobs.null.community. It is completely free of cost for both job seekers and employers. Do check it out. So if you are looking to start the new regular student chapter, you can simply get in touch with for the listed people, and they will be able to guide you at the best. So when you contact them, you need to share the contact details and you must have at least two or more people interested to start the chapter. You need to go throughout the predefined checklist that will be shared to you, and once you clear that checklist, you will be able to go ahead and plan the pre-null meetup, which will be like a dry run of the meetup. Once that pre-null meetup is completed, you can confirm the all checklist item and complete the small documentation. After that, you will be given a few days for discussion and finalization and ask you the required question. After that, you will be able to list out your unknown null chapter. So, what are the current null projects? So current active null projects are null ocean project, null crypto project, null cloud project, Swachalit and event management platform, null jobs, null data bridge guidelines, null projects. You can find all our interesting null projects on this link, and this link is also available. I mean, you can simply go to the Google and type the null and GitHub, and you will be able to list out our live projects there. So, and if you have joined the null mailing list, you will be able to get the latest update on this project. So do join the mailing list. Null Student Ambassador Program. So an initiative under Null 2.0, our idea is to execute the presence of extend the presence of Null platform among the universities and colleges. So students who are keen to learn about the new cybersecurity stuff, they will be able to present the Null as an ambassador from at their college and university. Shout out to the Null Ahmedabad volunteers Jay, Satyam, Pooja, Parth, Malav, Ashi, Urvi, and Rushav. So, what are the current volunteer requirements? So, currently Null has following requirements: front-end developer to develop the front-end for Swachalit portal, Null.community portal, UI UX designer, full stack developer, product manager, and growth hacker. If you have any of the skills, do reach out to the chapter leaders. So kind organizations who are supporting us right now: Citrix Bangalore, ThoughtWorks Chennai, Sophos Ganpat University Amdavad, Adobe Airtel Delhi, Open Text Progress Foundation Hyderabad, Institute of Technical Education Bhopal, Directiplex Mumbai, Emirates Dubai, Payatu Pune, KPN Amsterdam, and many more that are not on this list. Shout out to the other local communities like now Garage for Hackers, SysInfo, Info, OWebs chapters, DEFCON groups, infosec girls. So enjoy the event. So now I would like to hand it over to the our speaker, who is Ronak Parmar. So Ronak is going to present his tool Vajra, which he has developed with love and has and it is very useful when you are working with cloud penetration test. So without any delay, over to you, Ronak.
Thank you. So is my voice audible?
Yes, you are audible.
Okay. So hi everyone. My name is Ronak Parmar. You can also call me Trouble One. That's my stage name, or you can say hacker name. So for today's session, there is no PPT or slides. It's or not any demos. Everything is going to be live. I'll just share my screen first. Yeah. So screen is visible, right?
Yes, it's coming. Yep,
Okay.
visible now.
So the tool can be found at my GitHub account, which is trouble dash one. The tool name is Vajra. So this tool is basically a mixture of multiple techniques for Azure, AWS, and GCP, which is going to be coming as well. So currently, the open source that the currently the tool which is open source supports attacks and enumerations for Azure, like exfiltrating data, enumerating environments, deploying backdoors, or sending mails and creating rules, and password spray attack, brute force. For enumeration, we can enumerate user subdomains, Azure AD, Azure services. So without wasting time, I'll show you how it can be installed in your system. So by using only two commands, one, the git clone, and the second pip install hyphen r in requirements. That's it. What is what required, and just double click your app.py file and just wait for a couple of seconds, and it's up. So just navigate to localhost port 80, and you will find something like this, a login page. So you just need to first create an account. So I've already created an account, so I'll just get logged in myself. So the portal that you are seeing here is have been updated. The one which is currently available is which looks like this. This is something updated, and I will be releasing it later on. So I'll explain you how what my thought process was while creating this tool. So firstly, there is an attack called illicit consent grant attack, which only takes place in Azure. So first I will explain you what this attack is and what it does. So this illicit consent grant attack is basically a OAuth attack where you create your own identity provider by using app registration, which is available in Azure AD. And while you have your own identity provider, you can set your own permissions which you require to grant from your clients, or you can say victims. So once you set all those permissions, like reading files, sending mails, reading outlooks, notes, reading data from your Azure AD, so once you set that permissions and you fish some user, you get an access token, or you can say a refresh token or code, authorization code. Once you get that, you can use that access token to execute the API calls from which you can steal all their data. So this module which you see is a phishing module, which is where you can just set up all your a phishing environment for your victim. So let me just get you a walkthrough on how to set up this. So firstly, you'll need to log in into your portal.azure.com, and you'll need to create an app registration, which is your identity provider. Let's switch to my personal account. Stupid one. Okay, once it's up, you can navigate to here and go to Active Directory and navigate to App Registration, and you can just create your new app. Let's say uh, Null, and you need to select this multi-tenant. So let me explain you what is tenant and multi-tenant. So the environment that you see here, this one is your tenant. That Active Directory is your tenant. So this is your own company. You can say a company. That's a company one. And when selecting multi-tenant, that's mean multiple company. So when you create an app registrations, so while selecting tenant like single tenant, it means that this app registration will only allow those members who belongs to his own company. But when you select multi-tenant, that means it will accept users or employees from another company as well. So let's select multi-tenant because I want to fish someone who belongs to another company, and platform will be web. The URL, you can get the URL by just clicking start fishing. Go to browse. So this is the sample phishing page that I created. You can just copy this URL and paste it here and register. Now you just need to copy this client ID, which is application ID. So that both are same. Then you need to add your redirect URL, which is this, and your client secret, which comes at here. Just need to click create secret. This client secret is kind of like a password. when you create an app registration, it's basically your service principle. So if you have a client id and a client secret, and if this application have any roles or policies applied, then you can just log in through with this client secret and a client id and access anything that according to the role which have been provided to you. Okay, we'll copy this client secret. And for now, let's say I want to steal everything. I want all the files which that victim has, and click submit. And once you click submit, you get a URL. This is which is a phishing URL. You can say. Now, if I try to log in with my account, you can see if asks a permission. So currently, it's asking only the default permission, which is read your profile. But we are not interested in reading the profile, right? We want to read more data. So for that, we'll go to API permissions and click add permissions and click delegate permissions. So now, so we'll start one by one. First, let's say I want to read all the data which is available in client's OneDrive. So I'll say file and go to files. I want to read and as well I want to write, and so I'll click read write all. Then I want to want access to I want to send an email from client. So I'll say mail, go to mail, and I'll say mail dot read write. I even want access for their Outlook rules, so that I can create a backdoor in their rules. Then let's say I even want to read all the employees list in the company. So I'll say uh, user dot read user dot read basic all, and let's say what else. Okay, for now we'll go with this one only. We also need notes, right? One note. Say just only which only want to read. Say save. Okay. Once this is done, we can again refresh this page, and you can see all the settings has been. The permissions have been added. So once I click X, okay, I'll just show you from the phishing page. So you can just browse to this page, and let's say this is a phishing page of Microsoft, and if you click like take the exam, you will be redirected to this page. For now, I have been logged in with multiple accounts, yeah. And since this accept button looks beautiful, it's bright. Without any reading anything, I will just click accept, and in the background there will things will be going on like stealing all the data and all. So you can just refresh. You can see the logs are being generated. So in this way, all the data like OneDrive, Outlooks, rules, attachments, and OneNotes will keep stealing. So once phishing is done, we can navigate to we can start enumerating, right? So once we have a list, just a second now. It's something, I think something went wrong in my code. Since I was updating this tool, okay, something went wrong. Okay, so once you get a list of all the users. Since I am working on this tool, it's a beta version, you can say. That's why there's some issues. Okay, so just ignore it for now. So once this is done, you can start doing some password spray attack. Let's say if you have hundreds of username enumerated, you can just add your own custom list, or the one the user that you have steal, that this attack will be done on that. So you just need to provide that password and upload a file which contains all the email IDs of that users. So once it's done that, it will look something like yeah. Once it's fished, it something looks like this. Where you can see all the attachments, all the files, OneNote files have been stolen. Then all the victims can be found here in this way. So once you find all the victims, you can set your own password and start attack. So it will automatically only do password spread attack on those victims only. But if you don't wish to do on that, you can provide your own custom list, and click on enable click on spray on added victim list, so it will only spray on your own uploaded file name list only. So one, and there's another option also for doing a brute force, where you can try multiple passwords, like up to 9 passwords, because Microsoft by default provides you up to 10 try. So you can provide like 9 password, and it will try on all those email IDs. So yeah, so once done that, you can, so once you have all the files, all the OneDrive files, you can upload, I mean, you can replace any of the files from the victim's OneDrive, and which will be automatically changed in their account as well. Like if you click replace here and you upload any file, then that file will actually be replaced in their Office 365 OneDrive drive as well. And you can delete any file, you can upload any doc file, but currently doc file is not going to work because Microsoft has patched it, so you can't even send doc file via email as well. So that attack now doesn't work. Next will be for sending emails. So in this way you can read all the emails of the victim. You can search any particular keyword like password or config or Wi-Fi, or like any keyword that you want, any it will show you all the only those emails which contains that particular word. You can even send an email from, I think I don't have a screenshot, but you can even send an email from client, I mean from the victim's account to someone else. And you can even create outlook rules, like if a victim gets any email which contains this keyword, then send this email to my to the attacker's email ID, or just say send all the mails to my email ID. And these are some list of one notes and attachments and all. And this one, I think this is there. So while by clicking this get token, you get a access token, basically again like whole access token, and you can use it for your manual enumeration or attack. And you can even click steal again, so this will steal all the data again and again, like once again and all. Okay, let me show you this in the one which I already have. Just a second. I'll just create an account. This is the one which currently available. I'll quickly show you the demonstration. Just a second.
Ronak, sorry for the interruption. Can you please zoom in a bit so fonts can be
Okay.
more bigger? Yeah,
Okay.
thanks.
Okay. This should work. Oh, I didn't add that. I think. this one worked. You can see in the logs it will. Yeah, so this is the data that you get. Okay, it's still capturing all the data actually. Anyways, we have all the list of the usernames which are available in my account. Let's say users, this one, all the OneDrive files. So if I just click here and replace with anything like, so it will, okay, there's some issue. Okay, I'll need to fix this as well. Fine. Okay, we can go to Outlook rules and search any keyword like password. So you have emails which contains keyword password. You can go to compose and you can like send any mail to someone. Okay, right, because I don't have that, like I didn't use that permission to mail dot send one. That's why. Okay, so there's another one which is for enumeration, which is Azure AD. So this one only targets. So when you are attacking to Azure environment, you have two environment, one Azure AD and one Azure resource management. So both of them requires different type of token, different API calls. So for Azure AD, we use graph.microsoft.com, and for Azure resources, I mean Azure resource management, you use management.azure.com. So you can use this if you have a username and password, you can directly just give your username and password. Else I would say the best way will be to create your own say own access token by using the following command like az account get access token. So by default it's going to create an access token for Azure management. So we can use this token for Azure resources, this one, and just paste this, and you get something like this, and you can just view all the resources. Currently there is no resources available in my account, that's why it's showing empty. But you can go to, like clicking here, you can find all the subscriptions that are available to particular user. You can use that, yeah, subscription. Then you have a resource group which is currently empty, but let me show you how does it looks like when there are some data. Yeah, it looks like this. If there are resources, it will look like something like this, like the type of the data, the name of them, and all. So okay, this was for Azure resources. I'll show you for Azure AD. So for that, we'll need to use hyphen hyphen re. So resource https graph dot and this is can use for enumerating Azure AD environment. It's few seconds. Yeah, it's done. So you can find out all the users with specific roles which they have. Right? Let's say my user, which is trouble one, is a company administrator. This user have roles like application administrator. So it's easy for you to understand which user is more that you should attack to. Let's say if you find any user which have any administrator roles, so you can start creating phishing attacks for that, for those specific uh, users only, and you can even get to know what the job titles and all. For the groups also the same way, you can find out which groups have which uh, role assignment provided, so you can try out to become a member of that particular group. Or if you find any user being a member of some another group where that particular group have some role assignments, so you can try to compromise those users which are members of those groups. So because once you compromise any user, you by default have those permissions as well. So it's very easy for you to get a clear image of where to start, where to do your privilege escalation and all. So this all these are just listing out all the data available, like admin users. This will list out all the users which have administrator roles available for available. This is the custom directory roles. So like AWS, Azure also have, supports custom roles where uh, there are chances where developers might provide additional roles, additional policies. Let's say if they read, let's say they create a role with name read, but actually they have by mistakenly created a role which can read as well as write as well, or even they have created a read which can read all the data, like admin data as well, and not just specific data. These are all the air registrations. So basically, these are service principles, you can say, which you might be interested to try to compromise them as well. So yeah, so this is what all available for the Azure, and you can just click download as well. So it will give you an Excel sheet which contains all this data. Let's say in this way, so you can just share it to your client or someone if you want. So now I'll be showing you the AWS environment, which is not yet published, but I'm willing to show that. And this is first time ever I'm going to show someone. Okay, let me start my old one which I was working on. Okay, you can navigate by hovering. Okay, so this is what AWS portal looks like. This is God Indra, because Vajra is a weapon belongs to God Indra. That's why I'm trying to make it a bit Hinduism that type way. Okay, so currently it's completely under development, and there's only one enumeration that is available right now, which is IAM enumeration. So you can just provide your client ID, client secret, and don't try to copy paste this client secret. I'm anyways going to delete this one, so don't need to write one by one. Okay, so we'll wait for 20 seconds so that this gets completed. And here is the profile pic of God Indra. You can see this one. It's done. And you can go to visit, and here you can find out all the data like IAM, compute services, storages, networks. Let's say this admin user have attached policies, administrator access, billing full access, then say client secret, like just a basic profile overview. You can go to IAM. This will again list out all the IAM users, groups with their attachments are provided. Then IAM roles. To get a detailed output, you can just click JSON output, and you'll see a complete output of the particular role. This is IAM policies. Basically, I think they didn't change the name here. So this is IAM policies. This one is a custom managed. Custom managed is basically which is not provided from AWS, but the one which is have been created by you while creating any services. So again, you get a complete display of what was the output, so that you don't miss anything. I mean, yeah, anything. Then you have compute services. So right now there are only these services available, like EC2, Lambda. You can say JSON output you have. And one interesting thing, you can even click download button. So this will download the source code of this Lambda function. Let me show you. So this is the Lambda, and you can see we have a file available here in the zip. Let me just take it here, and you can just read this file. So right now there is nothing. There's a null, hello null meet. That's it. Yeah. Then there's a beanstalk available, and these are empty right now. So once compute service is done, you have next service. You have storages. Storages like S3 bucket, EC2, CloudFront, storage gateway, EFS, and all. Next, you have networks. In networks, you can find VPC, Route 53, and all data. So there are currently this much of VPC. So in AWS, there is a challenge of a region which is not there in it Azure. So that's good. So what's the problem is when you are logged in into the AWS portal, you will see your the current region that you are in. If you create any service into that particular region and you switch to another region, you won't be able to read that service. So because of which there is an issue, like you not be able to know if there is any service that you have created in some another region, and there are like 15 20 regions available. So while creating this script, I had to loop to each and every region to list out all the services available. So this will give you absolutely give you everything and help you out in listing out all the services which your account have, so that you don't miss any one. And yeah, currently like it's still under process. It's not been published. And the configuration, you can change your password. You can let's say create a you can whitelist your phishing link, which is say, let's say if I provide any IP like this, and if I now try to browse to that phishing page from another IP, I won't be able to access that phishing configuration. And let's say if I don't give any IP and I click submit, and now if I refresh this, okay, I need to enable. If I refresh it, I will get forbidden. But once I give the IP, let's say this localhost one, so I will be able to access. And yeah, the tool also supports the dark theme as well. Okay, yeah, that's it, guys. Uh, any questions on this tool?
We will wait for next few minutes if anyone has any questions. Okay, so let me use some. So first of all, it has a nice UI and theme. All right. So on Azure side, it has personally I can say it is a power pack tool. It has
Yeah.
one-click phishing, brute force, send, receive email. Even you can filter on it. You can
Yes.
enumerate all the users and Active Directory. That is super powerful. And
Right.
apart from that, you can also export the enumerated resources. So
Yes.
that is going to be very, very useful. And I can see you have gone through many challenges while creating those two, right?
Lots of.
Lots of, yes. So dealing with the regions and all, it is a bit frustrating, but yeah,
Right.
I believe it is a super handy tool that gives you all the necessary items and tools when you are doing the cloud penetration test.
Yes.
So
Yes.
kudos to you, man. Thank you so much for creating this tool.
Yeah. And there's another module which is simulator,
Mhm.
which I didn't talk about. So this is also in progress. So this simulator is the biggest challenge for me. So this simulator is
Mhm.
basically you can say an AI which helps you out in attacking by itself. Like just provide your access
Wow.
token and it will find out the path for himself. It will try to escalate himself only and will let you know
Mhm.
that see I become this now.
Wow. Uh, nice. So that is going to, I mean,
Take a lot of
it will
time.
the yes, it is going to take a lot of time, but the
Like I have been
capability it
working.
has, it will be very helpful. Like it will
Yes.
identify what it
Yeah, like
for the
you have
destruction.
everything. Yes, because just in one tool you can manage your like multiple tools have been combined in one, and you have better management for your own self. Like you can use it from your cell phone. Let's say if your colleague provides sends you all the list of usernames in
Mhm.
via WhatsApp, you can just copy all the username, go to your phone, browse it, send it, and let's just start attack. That's it. So it's very flexible for everyone to use.
Right. Personally, I'm looking out for the AWS model, which you are working on it.
Yeah.
On Azure, you mentioned that when we create the application, right, for this demo purpose, you have created the application called Null, right,
Huh.
and it has multi-tenant access. So whenever the victim clicks on it, it asks for the confirmation, like this
Yes. Yes.
application is going to access following resources. Okay.
Huh.
So at that I have noticed it was saying the unverified. The
Yes.
application name, it was unverified. So what
Yes.
does it takes to make it verified?
You will need to make it, actually that takes 3 days business day, 3 business days from Microsoft itself. You need to verify from the Microsoft itself. You'll need to go
Okay.
to, I'm not sure, I didn't remember, but you need to go to
Mhm.
some like company branding.
Okay.
Like I did that very long time ago, so I not remembered.
Mhm.
but but it's something that Microsoft will verify your company or everything, and then they will say it's verified. And yeah, one thing I didn't talk about, the challenge
Mhm.
of doing this technique is now different. Before
Mhm.
2019, the update before update of 2019, you could have
Mhm.
fished with any permissions to any user. But due to illicit consent grant attack went bit high, so Microsoft changed all their settings, and they said that we will not allow any user to provide any permissions. Let's say, like as you saw that I was able to uh, what say I was able to grant the permissions, right? But let's say if I
Mhm.
try to do this from another user, let's say this one, so I
Mhm.
won't be able to do it. It will say like this: need admin approval.
Okay. So before
So
2019, it was
yeah,
allowing
yeah,
everyone
yeah,
to do it.
it was
Oh.
allowing. So the approach, so what will be the approach? So approach will be to use the minimum permissions. So the permission that you can use is user dot read basic all. So this permission
Mhm.
just reads all the list of clients, I mean employees available in your tenant. So that doesn't need admin approval. So once you get a
Okay.
list of users, let's say your tenant have thousands of users, so you have list
Yeah.
of thousands of users, and from there you can start phishing, or you can start some other attacks like I provided, like password spraying or brute forcing. And from there you can find any password. Once you get a password, you can log in from is it CLI, you get an access token, you can then you can start enumerating the Azure AD environment and start enumerating the Azure resources. And you find out
Oh.
that these are the resources which is public. You have these applications which can be accessible. Then you try to exploit any application. You go into the server, you go into the app
Wow.
register, I mean app services. Then you find out that app services have managed identity available. From there you can run that metadata token. From that token you find out that this app services, basically that virtual machine, have access
Mhm.
to the database. You can access that database, or you can access to a key vault or any other secret management service. From there you can read the data and all. So
Wow.
it's like very big.
So that was the default rule, right? The global
Yeah,
reading.
yeah.
Yeah.
So like this is also one. So let's say if I say
Mhm.
let's say null meter. Okay, let's do null
Mhm.
meter. So it will scan for, let's say if null meet have any yeah, null meets have something, null meet dot. So in this way we can
Understood.
enumerate all the stuffs. Okay,
Oh.
it only have
So
this only. So
okay,
basically
for
this subdomain basically extracts all the assets, all the domains which contains keywords null meet. So we can extract all the applications or database or any hosted application or ms app proxy application and all.
okay. Yeah, that is nice.
And
So my
initially I huh?
mhm.
Yeah, I was saying
Yeah,
that
continue.
this tool I even tested in an environment where there was 1 lakh 50,000 groups, 1 lakh users,
Oh,
2 lakh app registrations, 3 lakh
that is
like no
huge.
no it's for like file total 5 lakh of service principals. So I have used this tool into that environment, and trust me, in just 1 hour it collected like 3 to 4 lakh of data by
So
executing
you
300 to 400 APIs in 1 second.
Yeah, that is huge.
Yeah, that
So
is huge.
this tool has saved your month. I can say that.
Yes.
So
Because you never know, you came across to any tenant which contains such a huge amount of data, and
yeah,
you can't just go on and run one by one script to each and every user.
that will take
You always
forever.
need to, yeah, yes, absolutely.
So we have few comments. Uh, they are saying what are the prerequisite of knowledge to have to use this tool?
Very simple. Just read my blog.
Ah, yeah.
This is the blog. The readme is
Okay,
the blog.
put that link in the chat so people can directly browse to it.
Okay.
Yeah. And the next question is, what are your future plans for Azure AD integration? I think it is already there.
There are plans. There are going to be more services. Let's say if this one, which is specific services, currently it's only supports storage accounts, but I will be adding some more services as well, like key vault or any virtual machines.
Mhm.
Let me show you my mind map.
Yeah, sure.
What my thinking is, you can navigate to my account, GitHub only, and go to cloud pen testing. Go to notes and map, and you can find out cloud pen. Yeah, you can find out the mind map here. Let me just open
Nice.
it. It doesn't it contains for Azure, GCP, and all, not just for one.
So this tool is
It's
very
a
well
very,
designed and planned.
it's a kind of very big one. That's why it's,
Mhm.
huh. So this is my mind map, which is into my mind. So it basically starts by
You may
enumeration.
need
You
to zoom in a bit so
okay?
people can read it. Yeah.
Just a second. I'll just take it here. Okay, specific
Yeah.
service. Okay, so the text starts from initial access. Initial access can be GitHub, phishing, web application, password reuse, or OSINT, right? Then you start with enumerating like assets enumeration. Asset enumerations include subdomains. Subdomains can be done by uh, some, these are other links which I have provided. Some scanners, some tools available. Then using Google Docs, search engines, finding out all the S3 buckets by, like, let's say this one I'm trying to find S3 buckets containing SQL keyword in it. Then OSINT certificates. Then you have credential hunting, like trying to find out the credentials or validating the credentials. So for AWS API, like this one I will include it in my tool. I was not able to explain it here only. That's why. Then Azure Cloud API. So this one is also included. Credential hunting. This is for GCP and all. Code repository. This is OSINT. I'm even going to add some OSINT as well in the tool. So once
Nice.
enumeration is done, you can go for exposed services. The applications which are exposed, like serverless application. Serverless application. Okay, I'll explain it. What is serverless application? So serverless application is basically an app, or you can say a script, which executes on particular event. Serverless application that doesn't means that it doesn't have any server. It has a server, but it's a system like a VM, which contains files, Python files, Node.js files, which gets triggered or which gets executed only on particular event. Now that event can be anything. Event can be if someone clicks on this link, if someone uploads a file into my S3 bucket, if a new user has been added, or if a new user has been removed, or if there is any config changes done in my account. So there are multiple events. So only during those events that particular function serverless app, that particular script will execute. So let's say I'll give you an example. Let's say if I register, so whenever a new person registers, his name and his name and email ID will be sent to the serverless app as a parameter, and it will render it and it will send an email. So in that case, suppose if this serverless app is vulnerable to SSTI, then you can provide a by registration you can provide a name like calibraces 727 or your command execution code, and you can just get that whole output into your welcome email. So in that way it can be done. Then from web application is it's a basic application that you do. Then post exploitation. Post exploitation, let's say once you get an RC, you can extract a token. Like what I told earlier, you can get a token. You can list out all the resources and data available and try to escalate your permissions. So in Azure, you can abuse like the one which I showed you, which is app registrations, and another will be container registries, automation accounts. So automation accounts basically is the account which is connected to your on-prem server. So if you get a token which have access to automation account, then basically you can execute commands which will be executed in the clients or the victim's on-prem server. So you can directly get a shell from that as well.
And the network shell.
Yeah. And this is like specific service for Azure AD and all, like Azure Key Vault, Azure SQL database, for AWS Cognito, Azure Pool, Azure Identity Pool. So Cognito is kind of similar to app registrations. So in Cognito, you create an app, you add users in it. So whenever you go to login, and if the user has been added to that particular app, only then you will be able to log in. Or if the client has enabled the sign up mechanism, then you can even add that feature. So the attack flow comes when you find out the sign in mechanism, but you don't see anywhere any option to sign up. In that case, if you find any values like client secret, so you can run this following command. This is sign up client ID, username, and password, and you can become a member of that Cognito or that application. So there are tons of things that I can't explain it right now because
Yeah.
it's a very big
I
thing.
think you have answered that question very very briefly. After seeing your mind web, I can see you are leaving no stones unturned
Yeah.
to enable the contents.
Yeah, and also if you find out any token of AWS, and if you want to enumerate manually, you can go to
Mhm.
this aws.md and try out these commands by manually. By using my own this checklist, I was able to compromise my client's AWS account and become an admin user. So I'll tell you the story. So what
Mhm.
was the thing that we were doing a pen testing of an application, and we found an LFI vulnerability. From the LFI, we were able to grab that config.php file. From there, we find out all the AWS credentials, and when we used one of those IAM credentials, and we got to know that we were already an administrator. Why? Because we were a member of a group, which that group have been provided a policy of admin, but by default that particular user that we got was not an admin. But because we want to be stealthy, we don't want to put any footprints that this particular user has done something. That's why what we did, we created a user with the name pen testing, then added that user in that group, and then we logged in with that user, and then we created a login profile and logged in with their console aws.com and became an admin, and we got to know all of that. Whole company was in it was here. We can destroy it like
You needed it.
yeah.
Yeah, so that
So
was the
it
smart
happens.
move to
Yeah,
create
like
another
this
user.
happens. This happens. You just need to try. Yeah, that's it. Any
So,
more questions? Those who guys are watching.
I don't see any new questions right now. So, but you can hang around a bit for next 5 to 10 minutes,
Yeah, sure. I think
and you can.
Katan Patel, are you there?
I'm here.
Nathan
Like
must
I
be
gave,
in.
yeah, I gave the session on his YouTube channel as well.
Yes,
Oh,
illicit grant attack on Azure.
I so when are you going to invite me?
Again, for sure. Why not? So, how's it going? I mean, what else are you doing research on?
I also don't know what I am doing. I'm doing so many things.
so guys, just a second. Okay, so I
Yeah.
think we should end the meet here, right? First. Okay, so thank you very much, Ronak, for this
Yeah. Thank you.
demonstration, for the detailed description of the tool and its capabilities.
Yeah. Thank you.